Okay, so I'm pretty much ready to go. Still needs a few more minutes.
It's 15 minutes before lunch, and cook Sue Wozniak is already spooning food into trays under a heat lamp.
It does save a couple of seconds, which is really helpful.
It's a head start before the first students
Calm before the storm.
arrive for lunch period number 1.
Okay, you can come in. Hey.
Now Sue speaks the line that she'll say hundreds of times today.
Do you want mashed potato and gravy? Mashed potato, no gravy?
Over 6 lunch periods at Blaine Elementary School in Whatcom County.
Do you want mashed potato and gravy?
Yes, please.
Do you want mashed potatoes and gravy?
This method behind the lunchroom madness
Every second counts.
gives kids the maximum amount of time in their seat eating their food.
We want them to eat their fruits and vegetables, so we want to give them plenty of time to chew.
Nutrition Director Brenda Bowles says finding time in the schedule is the part that's hard to swallow.
So I want them to have as long as they need, but I also recognize that that's a challenge.
Especially for elementary schools, where a new state rule requires a half hour a day for recess in addition to academic requirements.
It's a scheduling nightmare.
Also, increased use of free and reduced price breakfasts and lunches means longer lines and shorter seat time.
It's hectic, not gonna lie. It is hectic.
In a King 5 survey of 31 school districts, Blaine was one of only 5 that had lunch periods of at least 25 minutes at all of its schools. 19 districts have schools with 20-minute lunch periods, mostly at the elementary level, and 2 districts, Stanwood, Camano, and Everett, have at least one school with a lunch that's just 15 minutes long.
We want to make sure that kids are eating as much of their healthy meals as possible.
Dr. Juliana Cohen researches lunchtime and nutrition, using stopwatches to measure how long kids actually sit and eat and what's left on their trays. She says those common 20-minute lunch periods aren't enough.
When kids had more time to eat, especially when they had at least 25 minutes of seated time in the cafeteria, kids ate significantly more of their meals.
At Blaine Elementary, administrators eked out a 25-minute lunch period. That required a state waiver that allowed them to break each class's recess into 2 15-minute sessions so they could fit into a jigsaw puzzle of a schedule. Next door at Blaine Primary, which schools kindergartners through 2nd grade, more creative scheduling.
Have we had this before? No.
Lunch is 30 minutes, in which kids load up their trays at a small kitchen and return to the classroom to eat.
What's the difference that you notice when kids have 30 minutes?
They take longer to eat. The atmosphere is relaxed. When they transition back into learning time, they can still be finishing up and munching on the last carrot.
Dr. Cohen urges administrators to find time in their current schedules for a 30-minute lunch.
There are going to be maybe 5 minutes less of English, 5 minutes less of math perhaps. But we're hearing from teachers is that the students are better learners.
Where do you get minutes from? You know, and I think that's something that all schools are probably challenged with in different ways.
The superintendent of Blaine Schools says lengthening lunch with a bite out of math or science poses risks to all-important test scores.
The reality of how we're judged is often by how people report our students' academic performance on school report cards across the state and federal accountability. I think teachers are always looking for more time with students.
Next year, the state will not allow recess or PE waivers, so Blaine will lose scheduling options, and it may be forced into the 20-minute lunch periods it's tried so hard to avoid.
Why do you make that face?
That's going to be tough.
Yeah.
And we're in the exact same boat as all the other districts.
Have to find a way to speed up, because timing is everything.
And now the state has just proposed a new rule that would require districts to give kids at least 20 minutes of seated lunchtime. At a hearing scheduled for January, the state superintendent may hear from parents and experts who support that rule and opposition from school districts that don't see a way to eliminate the crunch time at lunchtime. Chris Ingalls, King 5 News.